I used to struggle for months to have regular lucid dreams until I did this one 3-step hack. It was ridiculously easy. And then when I did that, I had one of the most epic lucid dreaming dreams I have ever had. I still remember it fondly to this day. So what is it and how does it work? Let's get to it. Welcome, people. Welcome, wonderful people. I'm your guy, Frank. I've been lucid dreaming for a million years. Well, about 30. And I have thousands of counts of dreams, and I've had hundreds of lucid dreams, uncountable amounts. And this is actually one of the techniques that I use to this day on the regular basis. And it actually forms my whole sleeping pattern. So, what is it? Well, I could tell you what it's not. It's not any weird apps. It's not any supplements. It's not food. It's not none of that because, right, you don't have to. I don't have a product to sell here with this. um, it's just a technique that you can use every night. It's absolutely free. And once you get into the habit of doing it, it's going to be what you do all the time. And it's always, almost always going to work. It's going to be always better than not. Now, last time we talked about the things that would happen before you would lucid dream, like the signs, the 3 signs you'd happen before the lucid dreams, like you'd see extra fingers. It looked kind of like this, right? You'd see less fingers, or your hand would be all bent, and or pictures wouldn't look right, or your cell phone wouldn't look right, right? So, that was just before a lucid dream would happen. But what if you could tell your mind, your system, your body to have lucid dreams instead of it happening spontaneously? I'm saying words that don't even mean anything. What if you could have it happen on the regular? And that's when that's when good stuff starts happening in the lucid dreaming arena. And it's really easy. Let's not overcomplicate this. We don't need any crazy supplements. We don't need any apps. We don't need a 30-step breakdown list of numbers and strings and red arrows. And no, it's really easy. It's so easy that when you get a habit, and when you get into the habit of it, you'll do it almost every night, like I do. And that's why I am successful. That's one of the reasons I am successful at it. But before we even say that, remember to drop a comment down below. If you're struggling, if you're new and you're trying to have your first lucid dream, or if you've had some, write about that, and now you're trying to make it a regular thing. Because once you have your first lucid dream, you're like, oh, this is on. I'm doing this all the time. I haven't been able to do it every night. But you can do it at a much more regular pace when you got the right techniques going. So I sort of mentioned it in the last dream. You have to do something called reality checks. Reality checks are when you check to see if this is a dream or reality, right? If you have 6 fingers, hello, you are probably dreaming. Now, I've been in a dream where I had 6 fingers and I said, oh, maybe I miscounted. Maybe I always had 6 fingers. Yeah, it gets crazy there. But also another reality check is clocks, digital or analog. They almost never come out right in a dream because your mind is projecting it and it's telling the dream to show a clock, but it's not telling it how to show a clock. So the numbers on it are messed up, but they don't make any sense. And that will tip you off too. So you could fail the first reality check when you looked at your hand, but you also look at a clock and that was weird. And then you'll start being like, hey, wait a second, this is weird. I have more fingers than I thought and the clock doesn't work. You know what? Maybe I'm in a dream. That, when you get into the habit of that, it's like, it's good. It gets good. And why this works? Well, there's personal proof, right? I have tons of personal proof on this. It works because it works. When you are tipped off on reality, then you do the reality checks. Those are the reality checks. I'll show you another reality check that doesn't work for me. I don't know why, but it's been popular in the past. is trying to put your finger through your hand. Now, the first time I tried this, it worked, and I was like, whoa, I'm dreaming, it worked, it worked. But the second and third time I did it, it didn't work. And the reason why it doesn't work is because it's what your expectations are. If your expectation is that your finger is not going to go through your hand, it's not going to go through your hand. If your expectation is blank, it may go through your hand. If your expectation is that your finger will go through your hand because this is a dream, then it will go through your hand. Now, that's a tricky space to be in, because if your expectation that this is a dream, you may slip over the whole lucid dreaming thing because you're okay with it being a dream. You don't want to be okay with it being a dream. You want to say, wow, this is amazing. I want to stop the dream aspect of it and get into the lucid aspect of it so I can control all the aspects of it and have an amazing experience at like 3:30 in the morning. So how are you going to do reality checks when you can't even really realize that you're dreaming? Good question. You're going to do them during the day, the normal everyday stuff, and you're going to just randomly during the day, during today, you're going to do reality checks. You're going to look at your hand. You got 5 fingers. That's good. This is reality. You're going to look at a clock. You're going to maybe look at another clock. You know what I could do? I could look at this picture over here. Oh, this one too. It has a little text under it. I think it says Monet lilies in a pond or something like that. If you looked at that in a dream, it would probably be squiggly lines instead of actual English letters. Or, yeah, just maybe, yeah, just squiggly lines. Because I didn't tell it what to say. I just looked at it. Now, sometimes you can look at something like that and it'll say something like, I don't know, frogs on a tree. And you'll be like, okay, that has nothing to do with the painting. That's a little weird. You're looking for the weird. Now, during the day, really question your reality. Really question if this is real reality. Question it. You know, say, I want to put my finger through my hand. I want to. I really, really want to. And push. You don't have to hurt yourself. Just push, right? It's not going through. Okay, so that's one great reality check. I look at this clock over there. All the time makes sense. It's one something. It says it's Sunday. It says the date. It says the year. And all that stuff makes sense. Okay. And then I have a container of oatmeal here, and I look at the text on it. Quaker Oats Steel Cut. Wow. Okay, so that makes sense. I've seen that before. If I looked at it and it was all squiggly lines and it didn't make any sense, and it said, I don't know, check your oil in the car on this. Why? Sometimes your subconscious will try and talk to you like, the time for you to check your oil in your car. So it'll put it on the thing and it won't make any sense. And then that will tip you off that this is a lucid dream. And then when you start realizing this is a lucid dream, like I said, call in your consciousness, call in more consciousness. I want to be more conscious. I want to be more conscious. 2 things you can do to do that. Rub your hands, that'll stabilize the dream. I've also had experience with spinning around. Some people spin around and that stabilizes the dream for them. For me, it doesn't work so well, because I would say just do it twice. Just spin around twice. Just twice. Once, 2, done. The reason why is because it will increase your need for consciousness to do something of that nature. However, if you do it more, what will happen is that it will start to be like a dream in itself, and it'll get all spinny and wibbly wobbly, and then you'll be back in the dream. The dream state is very, very, very convincing and very, very seductive. So you have to try and do things to get yourself out of that suggested state. And it's almost like hypnosis. It's almost like being hypnotized. And you have to realize that this is not reality, not physical reality. It, the rules are a little different, and be okay with that. And so wake back to bed. That's where you wake up in the night and you maybe you do some stuff. I would do almost nothing. My best routine for wake back to bed is, and I don't know why they call it like that. It should be just wake up and go back to sleep. That's what they should call it. But we have to be complicated and ridiculous. So it's called wake to back to bed. Wake up and go back to sleep is what it is. And what I do is I wake up and I do nothing. I don't get up. I don't see, because when you get up, then you start to wake yourself up. What'll happen is that you'll start to wake up more. Um, and that can be kind of helpful because but I don't do that. What I do is I just lay there for a minute and I think about having a lucid dream. I either think about the lucid dreams that I have had, and if you've had one, you can go back and think about it and think about how great it was and how great it felt and what you did and what you would like to do. Great technique right there. If you haven't had one, it's pretty much the same. You think about the lucid dream you'd like to have and what you would like to do, and let yourself fall back to sleep. That's it. And you'll be much more likely to have a lucid dream that way. And because you use the techniques during the day, now your mind is a little programmed to check its reality. How many fingers do you have? Is the clock working? Or text on other things working? When you look at your cell phone in a dream, does it look like your cell phone? If it doesn't look like your cell phone, it's a dream. Because a lot of times, I've never known in a dream to look at my cell phone and have it look like my phone. I had to do some mental gymnastics to figure out why my phone looked different today. Why it wasn't working, why it wasn't working right, why it didn't look right, why it was smaller, bigger, uh, a different shape. Remember those old flip phones, and why it was all those different things instead of the phone I know and love. And I couldn't remember what that actually was. That's another tip off when your memory doesn't work right. Oh, and throwing in another tip. If you're not sure if it's a dream, this is another reality check. Ask yourself how you got here. I know how I got here. Just like I said in the last video, I know how I got here. I drove my car, it's red, I know the parking spot it's in. Done. Not complicated. But in a dream, when you ask yourself how you got here, you didn't get there. You didn't drive there. You didn't take a bus. There's no mode of transportation that brought you there. You just thought yourself into that place. And now, bingo, you're there. So in your mind, has a memory there too. So it's going to say, I don't know how I got here. I have no clue how I got here. And your mind will probably reach for something. Maybe you did this. Maybe you did that. Sometimes my mind tries to tell me, well, obviously you must have come here by car. You just can't remember it now. Big red flag. And then it produces a vision of a car, right? But that's not the car that I own. That's a car from like a million years ago. Like, that's not my car now. I know it's not. I can't remember my car now, but I know it's not that car. See, in all this stuff, these are all red flags. And when you see them by seeing a video like this and thinking about it and re-seeing the video and thinking about it and how this relates to dreams, and you've probably had dreams like this already, you'll recognize it more when it happens, and then bang, you'll be on the lucid dream like you want. Okay, so all that, but remember that the like button down there. If you like this content, hit it. Hit the subscribe button so you can know when the next video is coming out and be a part of this community. Also, drop your comments below. Which one of these are you going to try tonight? What's your situation tonight? Are you going to try these tonight, or have you tried them in the past, and how did they work? I'm telling you what works for me, and I have a lot of experience in what this is about, at least for me. Everybody's different though. So that's why I make sure that I tell you this is my experience. I'm not like asking the internet what its experience is or what most people's experience are. I'm not making these videos because I want to make these videos. And have a YouTube channel. I want to make these videos because I have a ton of experience and I want to help people have these tons of experiences as well, because it's a great life-changing experience that you can have for zero money. All you have to do is put in the time and the effort. And I honestly, the time and the effort is fun. So, okay, let's recap. Quick recap. You got really 3 steps. You'll do the daytime reality checks. You're checking your reality, you're doing this, you're looking at the clock, you're looking at text around you, you're looking at your cell phone. Is it all the way it's supposed to be? Okay, you keep doing that throughout the day. You question whether this is really reality in a vague sense, but that'll leak over into the night. And also, before you go to sleep, you should be thinking about having a lucid dream. Think about all the wonderful things you could do in a lucid dream. You're going to do this again when you do the wake back to bed technique, where you wake up and go back to sleep. You think about the dreams, you think about dreams you've had, you think about what you do in a lucid dream if you've never had a lucid dream before, and you think about lucid dreams you'd like to have. I mean, that you have had. And of course, when you do have a lucid dream, stay calm. Don't let it get to you, because if you get overly excited, you'll break out of the dream and then you'll be kicking yourself. I've done that too. It's an amazing experience, but when you get into it, you just want to soak up how real it is, how vibrant it is. Just soak that up, because that is going to be able to relate back to when you wake up, and you're going to be able to be amazed at that. So you're kind of digging up the gold in the lucid dream and bringing it back to your physical reality. All right, and next week we're going to cover why you keep waking up in a dream. I'll give you about 5 fixes on how you can fix that, because you don't want to wake up in the middle of a dream. You want to let it play out as long as possible, right? Of course, and that's part of lucid dreaming as well. So next week, that's what we're going to do. See you then. Drop your comments below. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button, wherever that is down there. And let's get to it, people.